Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello? Hello? Is this Among Us? How many viewers are in here?
0.
This is a private. Ah,
Okay, post this stream on Twitter. Somebody do that.
Twitter?
Yeah.
No, I
Twitter.
don't. I'm not sending this on Twitter. Send me your Twitter now.
Okay, I'm gonna send it on my Twitter. Okay. We still have zero viewers.
Let me try searching so I can actually see it. According here, Zero Grams. Subscribe to us now, or else I'm going to destroy you and kill you all. It looks like nobody's even watching it to us. I'm literally looking at every. We have a viewer. Oh no, it's just private. It's just me. Spooky.
It doesn't even say we have a viewer. Just
Wait.
imagine there are a bajillion people watching and the streamer doesn't want to say.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm gonna
Let's
go
get some
open.
viewers. How do we get Twitter's attention?
You have to just post and hope for the best.
Well, that would be you who would do that.
I'm gonna literally open the YouTube right now and I'm gonna see how many people we have. North Korea, South Korea.
Uh. I'm going to destroy you.
Okay, we only have one viewer. That's good.
Who's that one viewer?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's you. Okay, we
Me?
only have one viewer. That's good.
No viewers anymore?
You're the viewer. Wait, you're not viewing? You're not viewing, right?
um. Ah! Please react to us, you fatties. I don't
Sir,
actually mean it. You said my
honestly,
real name. Everyone's going to hear you now.
Coffee Bean, honestly, are you the one watching the stream now?
Yes. We can't get any other viewers. This was the only channel I could do that could probably react.
Yes.
We can't get any other viewers. This was the only channel.
Okay. We're just gonna react and hope for the best.
Let's react to Ham Fatinations. Because he's.
Oh, to come.
Okay, I left. Oh, wait, we have another viewer.
Shall we? Want to get the police? No. Okay. What the heck? Why is it asking me my birthday? Okay. let's start reacting.
Yeah. Ham
For
Nation's
some
back.
reason, I find.
Oh my
for some
gosh,
reason,
it's urban New York. Oh no, what is
Yes!
that?
Cower in fear, you useless citizens! No one can hide from my death ray! Don't be afraid, useless citizens! I mean, the Makeshifter and Super Bowl will save the day! Why, you little...
He deserves this anyways. No, get hit, Ham Nations, get hit.
oh,
You may have won this time, Supers, but I'll
to
get you eventually, and your little dog, too! You're not getting away this time!
No, do not throw that at him. Kill him and do that to. No, do not kill him. No, do not celebrate. He's a villain.
Hi, I'm Bryson, and today we're going to talk about my thoughts on superheroes and superpowers. Let's get into it. I'm a huge Marvel fan. My favorite heroes are Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and Spider-Man. They're so cool. Doctor Strange is easily my favorite, though. I would love...
let me guess. His favorite villain is gonna be Thanos or something.
Bro, he has so many hands. Emanations just do the opposite and then get tackled. I don't
Love
even
flying
know why
around with the cloak of levitation and doing magic. Imagine how powerful I would be. Whee!
You would be not powerful. You would destroy the world.
Oh!
See, that's
Actually, according to my calculations, Doctor Strange
guy?
isn't nearly as powerful as you might think. And for
Bro, why
real,
did you
Doctor
kill
Strange's
him?
powers are
Do
so
that
cool
to
and unique.
yourself.
Also, his fight with Thanos was awesome. Although he could have used the Time Stone to win the whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
Not
true.
to mention the Scarlet Witch's powers of magically killing people. Wait, is she a villain? I love destroying people. In cartoons, not in real life. I mean, seriously, did y'all see that scene from Multiverse of Madness where she kills everyone? That was amazing. Huh, I can do this all day.
No! Yes, you deserve
And
it!
of course,
You
everyone knows
deserve it.
Spider-Man's powers are cool. Look at me, I'm Spider-Man! Oh no, my Spidey
Fall
senses
down
are
and
tingling.
die.
Something bad is about to happen. Yeah, I'm breaking up with you. Babe? When it comes to the powers I would want...
Hey, that could actually be a nice superpower.
A superpower to get breaking up with your girlfriend.
No, it's just a superpower to tell you if something bad's gonna happen. And
Yeah,
what
but
if
the
you
great
know that-
superpower is Hamanations to get killed. I'm just kidding, he's normal. I just am joking.
would call him the mighty future predictor or something.
The future
But I would love the power of flying, teleportation, and phasing. Imagine it, traveling the world with your friends, and then when you're bored hanging out with them, you just teleport around. No more driving or flying or waiting in traffic. You're bored hanging out with them, you just teleport around.
It says Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut? Bro, Hamanations, this is a ripoff. We're unsubscribing to you. Everyone who is fans of Hamanations, unsubscribe to that guy now. He's a lie. He's lying because he made his own pizza shop. Unsubscribe to Hamanations, please.
Also, it's also the double T.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
No more driving or flying or waiting in traffic. Everything would be so convenient. Unless you teleported inside someone. I don't feel so good. Not to mention...
Okay.
You're so stupid, Ham.
Bryson is very weird.
He's not called Bryson. I call him Ham because I want to eat him.
Oh.
flying. Say hello to freedom and goodbye to gas prices. And what if I could walk through walls, disappear, and fly? I'd be much more unique than the other guy. I think Bryson is annoying.
That was just a rhyme.
Yeah, okay. You think Bryson's annoying? I agree, he's annoying.
Yeah,
He's
he
the
thinks
worst.
he's funnier than he really is.
No, don't kill him!
Have mercy! They're not dead. They're just
No,
tired.
why did you kill them? I
I
hate
feel like
you so
everyone
much.
always wants the
Em.
boring run-of-the-mill superpowers like flying and laser eyes. But here are some less talked about powers I would love. Element bending. Water is the best element, not to mention blood bending. Harry Potter magic. Avada Kedavra.
That's not a superpower. That's just magic.
Super intelligence, and being an animal.
Bro, why are you killing
I
this
almost
guy? This
forgot to
guy
men-
actually did nothing.
ليه ما غيرش في شعري؟
What is this ad? That ad sucks. Get out of your ad.
بديل الزيت بتاعك يقدر يحمي شعرك من تلف كتر التسريح؟ تنتين بديل الزيت هو اللي يقدر.
And why is the ad in Arabic? What the heck? We don't even speak that language. What the heck is wrong with you? We don't speak Arabic at all.
Not to mention some of my
I can
favorite
tell.
superheroes.
I
The
don't even know
Incredibles.
that's
Woo!
Those suck.
I freaking love The Incredibles. Having a whole family of supers fighting together is just an awesome concept, and I love it so much. The soundtrack goes hard. I can't even handle it. The animation is amazing. There's great character design. The first Incredibles is a classic, and it's peak Pixar. I literally watched The Incredibles while my little brother was being born. It's a core memory. Bryson, come meet your new baby brother. Hey, welcome to the world or whatever. Do you want to watch The Incredibles? I also love how in the first Incredibles they have no issues with straight up murdering people.
Hold up.
I also
Look at what he did
Why,
to the eye.
why is the baby sad? You are such a villain. Why are you making a video about superpowers and you literally made a baby cry for no reason?
Hold up.
Cry. That means you're evil.
Look at
Bryson.
the eye. It's literally a rip of Incredibles.
Yeah. It's so ugly.
love how in the first Incredibles they have no issues with straight up murdering people. They're just like me. Actually, though, look. He's dead, they're dead, that guy's really dead. Masterpiece. Oh my back. I have some issues with Incredibles 2, but it's still amazing and I love it. I just love the classic Incredibles costume look. So, with that in mind, I decided to make myself into a superhero. Meet Super Bryson, the makeshifter. My powers are shape-shifting and summoning energy-based objects. Think of it like if Miss Marvel and Green Lantern had a baby, and it was me. I went with bright colors because they match my energy and I like the classic look. What makes The Incredibles so special is that it's a whole family fighting crime.
They have double eyebrows.
Bro, they have eyebrow. Wow.
Look at Mr. Incredibles. There's this white stripe and then there's that black white stripe.
Bro, because they're Robin 2.0, these Incredibles are a ripoff of Teen Titans Go. Unsubscribe. Do not watch this show ever again.
Crime together. So what makes me unique is that I fight
That's
crime
even
as a
so.
team with my dog. Meet Superbo. Really? Superbo is the best you could come up with? Sick 'em.
Oh.
He can fly and has a laser bark, and we fight
Bro.
crime together as a team. That's kind of lame. Look, I'd love to be
Stop
part of the
killing
super family,
him.
but I don't exactly
Stupid
have a wife
Bryson.
or kids.
By the way, the people that just comment in his video are just supposed to be us viewers, which means that's what you would do if you met us.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at the
And
screen.
my
it's
very
a
real
video.
girlfriend broke up with me earlier, so for now I just fight crime with my adopted son, Bo. Since I love The Incredibles so much, I want them to make a third movie, and I have an idea for it as well. There's no way we're getting a third Incredibles. I can kill you just by looking at you. Yeah, right.
Stop
Time to add that one to the
killing
pile.
people.
A third movie has so much potential. Supers are legal again, so we can get a lot more of the family fighting crime together, which is the best part of Incredibles. And this movie could focus on the kids coming into their own as the next generation of superheroes. And the villain could finally be a former super who's bitter for being forced underground, instead of just a normal person. His powers could be copying superpowers, so the whole mission would be to prevent him from getting to Jack Jack, because then he could copy all the baby's powers and be unstoppable. A villain with actual powers would be so much cooler than another jealous little normal person. Also, I could be there helping the Incredibles out maybe. Just a thought. Hey guys, nice job saving those people. It was incredible.
Get punched.
I
Yeah,
don't think that
beat
is
him
funny.
up! Beat him up! Beat him up and kill him! Kill him!
Oh, no, please!
Kill him.
I feel so strongly about this that I
Oh my god, what is that, Bryson? You're so sus.
wrote a
This
whole
is why
fan fiction,
everyone should unsubscribe to
plot
him.
summary of what The Incredibles 3 could look like. Pause right now if you want to read it. If the entirety of Pixar of what
let's
The
read
Incredibles
it.
3 could look like. Pause right now
They made 4 Toy Story movies and 3 Cars movies. No.
if you want to read it. If the entirety of Pixar happens to be watching this, call me. We'll make it happen. I only expect 90% of the profit, but I'm willing to negotiate. I want this movie so bad, you have no idea. Okay, enough geeking out about The Incredibles. On to another funny topic. Drawbacks of being a
Ugly.
Oh, 2023 is about to happen. It is exactly 4 more hours until New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
being a superhero. Super speed is cool, but can you imagine if you tripped or ran into a wall? Whoa!
Oh,
I
That
like
would be
super
dangerous.
speed, but it
That
just
would
seems
be
like there would be a
dangerous.
lot of unintended consequences. Like running through someone, a bug hitting your face at the speed of sound.
ouch. Imagine if a bug.
That guy looks so funny. So funny. I love this guy. He's the world's worst guy, according to me.
But I guess kind of Marvel needs to talk about that more.
Yeah. Okay,
Dust getting in your
complain.
eyes and running so fast that your feet and legs get disintegrated. Or what if you had super strength and you accidentally punched so hard you destroyed the earth?
Oof.
Oops. If superheroes were real, it would get all political and everyone would hate them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like, what's a government of normal people gonna do against an unkillable god?
Yeah.
We hate you, Omni-Man.
He killed the guy.
I love superheroes, so I would just hope the powers would go to good people. I'd like to believe that most people are fundamentally good, and hopefully having powers would make them better people. Unlike in some shows.
Yes, yes.
Had enough yet?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
beat him. Beat him up.
Yes.
I hate this
Don't forget to
guy.
like and subscribe to us. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Bryson.
What? No, do unsubscribe to us.
Oh, so he completely mispromoted it. You know what, Bryson? That 90% of the promotion that you wanted, you're not getting it.
If I had powers, I would be responsible and use them for good. You're too stupid to be a hero. You know who I am. Do you see this? Oh, sorry.
12 seconds later.
Never mind on me using my powers for good, I guess. Oh my gosh! Stop killing people! That joke is so old!
Yeah.
Okay,
Stop, Bryson.
you're right. I'll stop. Sorry to have upset you. Oh,
Oh.
really? Well, thanks, I guess? Why don't you head home? It's getting late. I'd hate for something bad to happen to you.
No, do not kill him. Don't kill him. I see him. He's so ugly.
Yeah.
Phew! That was a close one. I thought for sure that he'd... Maybe someday I'll magically
This is why I hate Hamination so much.
ليه ما
Repeat
غيرش
the
شعرك؟
sad. Oh yeah, because of that VPN that
عندي
we have.
يحميه. بديل الزيت بتاعك
because of
يقدر
that
يحمي
VPN.
Why
شعرك
are
من
they
تلف
giving
قطرة
us
التسريح.
stupid
تنتين
things?
بديل
We don't
الزيت
even
هو
want
اللي يقدر.
this.
And another Grammarly ad. Great. Like I already have Grammarly or something.
magically get
Will that
superpowers and be able to
satisfy you?
shapeshift. But until then, I have the power of being nice to people. Yay! Oh, wait. I don't even have that power, I guess. Anyways, with all that in mind, what are your superpowers? In conclusion, I love superheroes, and I would love to be one. Unfortunately, I can't be super in real life, but I can in the cartoon universe.
Well.
Stop right there, giant robot!
No, kill Hamination. Yes, kill the dog.
What did the dog ever do to you? I'm on Bryson's team.
I'm on the Robux team because I hope Haminations gets killed. No, don't celebrate! He's a villain!
He isn't.
Ah, another day saved.
Those guys just robbed the bank.
No, stop this. I hate that. Oh my gosh, that is the worst team in the world.
What? Oh my goodness. Now I want to watch this video.
No, don't! We need to watch someone else. I need to stop you from this. No
Okay.
more videos.
ليه ما غيرش
After
بشعرك؟
this, we can watch Tim Tom.
No, I don't want to watch Tim
وأنا
Tom.
عندي اللي يحميه.
You know
What
what's
about
my
this
problem.
بديل الزيت بتاعك يقدر يحمي
What?
شعرك من تلف كتر التسريح. تنتين بديل الزيت هو اللي
What?
يقدر.
Okay. If we watch
الوصول
2
للبطولة
videos from this,
بيحتاج روتين جامد.
from him,
اجري.
then we're gonna watch 2 videos from whatever other channel you
خدوني
want.
بتتبهدل.
Bro, that's unfair. We just promised and then you have to make and then you did this.
عشان تديها
I
انتعاش
don't
10
actually want to
مرات
react
أطول.
anymore.
لنجاح
I'm gonna make you.
Bro.
We're gonna react to Mr.
Bro,
Beat.
that's
just like
super
you want.
unfair. You can't let me just react to 2 different YouTubers after that you want. You already chose.
No. Okay. This is another Hamnations video, by the way.
Yeah, so after
So
that
two
we're
Hamnations-
going. It's my
two
turn. You
Hamnations
can't
videos.
you can't just go to another channel and like
I'm
force
saying
me to
2
watch a
Hamnation
different.
video. 2 Hamnation videos for 2 Mr. Beat videos.
Yes.
Okay. So.
Hi, welcome to Bryson's cooking show. Today we are cooking cereal. Hi, welcome to Bryson's cooking show. Today we are cooking cereal. First add cereal, then... But Bryson, what if I like pouring the milk first? As I was saying,
Oh
first
my
add
goodness.
cereal, then milk, and voila, we've got cereal. What? Wait, no.
The gates of hell open wide to receive thy soul. Now submit thyself to unending torment.
No, please, I'm a good boy. Oh no. Oh, please save me.
You deserve it.
Well,
Yes,
Hi,
this
I'm
is the
Bryson,
best
and I
cooking
once
show.
started a grease fire in my house. And believe it or not, this is not the first fire that the Haminations family has endured.
Oh.
Let me start at the beginning. Now, almost all these stories revolve around one sibling, the pyromaniac of the family, my oldest brother, Brody. Now, before I decimate my brother's reputation, slander his name permanently, and ensure that he's never allowed within 500 feet of a lighter ever again, let me just preface with this. I love you, Brody. Our journey begins when Brody was 3 years old. I remember it like it was yesterday. Except I wasn't even born yet.
Yes.
My family was visiting our grandparents and uncles, and my Uncle Mark decided to have some bonding time with Brody. It remains a mystery to this day what Uncle Mark was thinking, but he decided to teach Brody how to use a lighter and how to lock doors. 2 essential skills for any 3-year-old, obviously. In one fell swoop, this knowledge transformed Brody from a harmless toddler to a dangerous fire hazard capable
Oh my goodness. Now I know how that feels.
of burning the house down.
He better burn laminations.
بشرتك بتقولك ايه؟ في الايام دي بتبقى زي حساسيه.
Bro, why are they giving us Arabic ads?
حساسيه رايحه جايه
I
حساسيه.
don't even think that's Arabic.
جربي انعم فوطه من اولويز للبشره
Then what is
الحساسه
that?
بطبقه
حساسية؟
وطنيه بتعدي الهواء
I
وبتعدي
don't even
الفصل.
understand what that means.
مفيش حساسيه مع
حساسية؟
اولويز هم اساسيه. اولويز براحتك.
Whoa, adapted mind math.
No,
Yeah.
I hate adapted mind. Shut
I'm in
up.
first grade, so I'll pick that.
Like you already
We know
know.
because you're 6 years old. You
Brody put his
stupid
knowledge to
little
use
girl.
immediately. He locked himself in Grandma's room, hid under the bed, and started melting the wax under there. The bottom of the bed began to burn, and the wax started melting down onto the carpet.
Oh
The
my
family
God.
smelled the smoke and ran around the house looking for Brody.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone?
What's the procedure?
Go!
But the door was locked. When they finally got in, they saw Brody with a lighter in hand, standing next to a burning bed. They put the fire out quickly as Brody watched. Even though I wasn't there, I can imagine Brody grinning to himself, because born inside him at that moment was a flame that would never go out. This was the beginning of a lifetime of pyromania. My parents were rightfully mad at Uncle Mark, and years later they got back at him. Uncle Mark's son was very young, and my parents were visiting. Hey, little guy, come here. I'm going to teach you how to use a lighter.
No! No! No!
Skip it up and down.
Does your family have a pyromaniac, or are you normal?
My main goal is to blow up.
The next incident happened 1 year later. Brody was 4, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Except I was still not born yet. Mom was outside the house talking to a friend, and Brody was inside unattended. He decided that he wanted a hot dog. He had seen our parents use the microwave before and thought, oh, I just need to put it in the microwave, hit a couple buttons, and hit start. So that's exactly what he did. But he unknowingly set it to over an hour. A while later, Mom's friend noticed smoke coming out of the windows in the house. Mom ran inside in a panic and found Brody with his hot dog. I tried to make a hot dog, but all I got was a piece of poop. The hot dog was reduced to a flaming carbon crisp, burnt to the very core. And that's how my family house almost got burnt down by a hot dog. Then the next year, when Brody was 5, he got glasses. This time I remember it clearly. Except I still hadn't been born yet. Once again, he was left unattended in the kitchen. Brody found a lighter,
Why?
sat on the counter, and began
For this whole time, they still like to leave him unattended in the kitchen.
lighting
Because
it
they're
over and
stupid
over.
parrots.
You know, for entertainment. Then he thought, I wonder if my glasses are fireproof.
Oh,
He
no.
slowly began to raise the lighter closer and closer to his face. And the lens cracked. Mom! What? What was that noise? Did you break your glasses? Yes. And that's just
Yes,
the
he
tip of the
deserves
iceberg,
it.
or Fireberg. Brody, in his teenage and adult life, has regularly set paper towels on fire on the counter, started fires outside for no reason, and put tinfoil in the microwave. I'm not even joking. Hey, Brody, what are you cooking?
New Year again.
Who even cares about the new year? The new year sucks.
And it's from the
And when Brody was
metaverse.
6, he had to be held on a leash whenever he would go out.
Oh.
Yeah, he was one of those
Makes
kids.
sense.
Yeah,
However,
exactly.
even the leash could not contain his chaotic
Exactly.
Exactly.
nature, because somehow, in one day, Brody set off a car alarm, an elevator alarm, and an airport alarm. If you haven't figured it out
Yes.
yet, let me just spell it out for you. Brody was a menace to society. He's still a menace, but his wife keeps him in check.
Oh,
Most of the
nice.
time. Now, all these stories were about Brody, but this isn't Brody's channel. Now it's time to talk about how I started a fire. But at least it was an accident, unlike Brody, who set stuff on fire on purpose. Also, all Brody's stories happened when I was just an unborn soul vibing in the quantum abyss. I kinda miss it. Anyway, on to my grease fire story. At this point, I had finally been born, and I was about to start a family recipe with my roommate Dallin. The chicken was defrosting and it was almost ready, so I put some oil in a pot and set the stove on low to heat up and be ready for the chicken. At least I thought I did, but I accidentally put the heat on maximum overdrive. Then I got distracted talking to Dallin and forgot all about the chicken. After a while, the room suddenly started filling with smoke. I wonder what that could be. We looked and saw a plume of smoke coming from the pot. As I ran over to try and fix my horrible mistake, the smoke caught fire and blazed forth an eerie orange glow. I saw into hell in that moment, and the face of Satan stared back at me. Then, for an excruciating couple seconds, I sat there frozen, wondering what to do. Have you heard the term fight or flight? Well, there's actually a third option, freeze. And my brain chose freeze. Dallin saw that I was paralyzed and quickly jumped into action. He grabbed a bowl and carefully covered the pot and extinguished the flame. I was so embarrassed that my big, strong roommate had to save me. I very gingerly helped get rid of the smoke by opening the windows. I cooled and cleaned the pot and very carefully finished the recipe.
So good and tasty?
Enough with the Pantene.
وأنا عندي اللي يحميه. بديل الزيت بتاعك يقدر يحمي شعرك من تلف كتر التسريح. بنتين بديل الزيت هو اللي يقدر.
This VPN sucks.
Yeah.
It just
That's
gives
so
us
privacy.
ads.
روتين جامد.
I hate you.
Still have one view.
مجموعة إيريل الجديدة اللي انت عايشها تنظف الهدوم بعمق عشان تديها انتعاش
Yeah,
10 مرات أطول.
You know, after you finish the stream, it gets uploaded as a video, right?
I also apologized
makes sense.
profusely to Dallin, who insisted that it wasn't a big deal. I honestly can't properly explain how embarrassed and ashamed I was. I was just trying to be an adult and make a meal, and I almost burned my house down. But I learned a valuable lesson. The lesson is, have a roommate who's not afraid of fire. I will be more careful in the future, and hopefully next time I won't freeze. To end things off, I want to encourage you all to be careful and cautious when cooking, because you could literally die. Also, stay away from Brody or he will burn down your house. Fortunately, fire won't be an issue for me, because since my fire incident, I have mastered waterbending. And I've mastered firebending. Don't do this, Brody. Don't challenge me. It won't end
No,
well.
we're not watching this part of the video.
No, I won't.
I'm sparing you, brother. I'm letting you go in the name of our past friendship. But I warn you, even a single step out of line will result.
I can hear you opening Minecraft, by the way.
That is not Minecraft.
That is.
That isn't.
No, I could hear the sound. So it means you're either playing a different game or I should just end the stream and not watch any Mr. Beat videos.
I'm searching up if we still have any views. Oh no, are you kidding me? No, we don't have any viewers.
Okay,
That's
should we
so
continue the video?
unfair. Yeah, I'll continue.
In your permanent end. Whatever, this game sucks anyway. You're just mad because you lost. Maybe, but at least my house isn't on fire. Hi, thanks for watching. Wasn't that fight scene amazing? My team did a fantastic job animating it. Thanks to Rushlight Invader and Aroa for storyboarding it, and thanks to my brother Brody for making the music for the fight. His wife played the flute for it as well. Links for them and the rest of my amazing team are down below. If you want to support me and the team to keep making these videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Link below.
Okay,
Also, I had a blast at VidCon. Thanks to everyone.
Hello? Okay,
Hi.
time to open Mr. Beat.
Mr. Beat, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not Mr. Beast.
2
that
videos
you
from Mr. Beat, then 2 videos from Mr. Who's the Boss.
No, oh my god. I'm not a big fan of his intros, but okay. You search
You just
Mr.
have-
Beast. I'm leaving. I'm not doing the stream. Bye everyone. This is cancelled anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to
fine.
be about America. What do you want it to be? Yes, subscribe. Bro, if you look, most recent video is almost about to beat his second video. No, not this video. No, I don't want to watch this. Who even cares about the Oregon Trail and the Tesla?
Look at how long it is.
It's an hour, of course.
2 hours.
Okay, go to the compared. Like, go to
9/11.
playlist.
I want 9/11
Wait, go to the playlists.
playlists.
Okay, maybe we're going to watch one compared, and maybe we can wait. But 9/11 is not great. Okay, after state rivalries, there's compared. It's just comparing stuff.
And are we the only viewers? Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to see which one I actually want to watch. No, I don't want to watch this. So scroll down.
Finally, I can finally change my location, and I'm gonna since we're in Canada.
I actually don't want to. I don't want to. Okay, let's scroll down. Scroll down the list.
Oh dear, I'm just turning off my VPN. My VPN is turning off. And if I'm right, and if I'm right, and great, yes. The ads are no longer whatever country that was.
Boston
No, I don't want this. I don't want this.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Norway and Sweden.
No.
Australia and New Zealand, yes.
Let's go. No, wait. No, I'm actually. Wait. Scroll down. Maybe there's going to be something better than that.
Wait, I have to just change the VPN language. It's the worst.
I don't know why is it in Egypt? We don't even live here. What the heck is that stupid ad? Lebanon? Did I just look at
Are you ready
Lebanon?
for this opportunity? Show what you were made of in a worldwide competition.
Yeah, no.
Welcome to Make It Right. The challenge.
Did you just skip? What's wrong?
I have no idea.
I hate this. Huh? It says this page isn't responding.
Maybe just go back to Egypt.
Yeah, here.
We don't even.
No.
Okay, we're going to watch. But what about the states? Okay,
No.
maybe we can just do another compared video after this one.
Australia
Okay.
and
Australia and New
New
Zealand.
Two countries in Oceania, more specifically Australasia. Separated by the Tasman Sea, they're two well-developed countries that often rank really high on nearly every quality of life ranking list. And yeah, they're just pretty awesome. Both seem to be kind of far away from the entire rest of the world. And because of that, also since they're so both unique, kind of in their own little world. Let's first look at some differences between the two. First of all, New Zealand doesn't exist. Okay, that's just basically a meme at this point. This started since so many world maps were leaving out New Zealand. In fact, there's even a large subreddit dedicated to them. But don't believe the hype. New Zealand, in fact, does exist. See? There it is. Australia exists too, but it's about 29 times bigger than New Zealand. It's the 6th largest country in the world, baby. That said, it only has around 5 times as many people. Why? Well, check this map out. Only 2% of the population of Australia lives in the yellow area. And why does only
I can explain because it's too hot there.
Yeah.
2% of the population
Yeah,
of
are you
Australia live in that
surprised
yellow
about New
area?
Zealand's
That's
5
because
million
much of
people
it is
population?
desert.
Huh?
New Zealand's 5 million. Wait, but this is like from the past. Like Australia still currently has a population of 26 million.
Or near deserts. 35% of the Australian continent doesn't get enough rain. But what about up here? Well, you live here mostly because
Bro,
it's so
where's Darwin?
isolated from the rest of the population of Australia. Only one metropolitan area in New Zealand has a population over
Auckland.
1 million people. That'd be the magnificent Auckland. Australia, meanwhile, has 5 metro areas with over 1 million people. Its 2 biggest cities, Sydney and Melbourne, each have more people than the entire country of New Zealand. Being so much bigger, Australia has a wider range of different types of climates. New Zealand has mostly an oceanic climate, whereas Australia, yeah, just look at this map here. As I said earlier, much of it is desert or semi-arid. I should probably now bring up the sparsely populated area famously known as the Outback. While the outback is typically only associated with the dry parts of Australia, it also includes the northern areas of the country that have a savanna climate. Basically, the huge area in Australia where humans don't dare live. It's a magical place. And believe it or not, Australia has a little bit of rainforest and parts of a monsoon climate up here along the eastern coast, southeastern coast, and island state of Tasmania, where most of the population lives, by the way. Australia has a mostly oceanic and humid subtropical climate, but don't forget the lovely Mediterranean climate along parts of the southern and southwestern coasts. That's also where a lot of Australians live. Australia also has a more varied landscape, and this magnificent sandstone formation, Uluru, one of the most important indigenous sites in the country. New Zealand's mountains are way more impressive and tower over Australia's mountains. In fact, many people not from Australia forget that Australia actually has mountains. Meanwhile, everyone seems to know about New Zealand's dramatic mountains, mainly due to the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit films. The producer of those films, Peter Jackson, is from New Zealand, and he almost single-handedly put New Zealand on the map due to those films. Remember how I said it's often not on maps? Sorry for the bad joke there. Anyway, you can visit the actual Shire from the film today. And fun fact, my uncles lived in New Zealand while they worked on the Lord of the Rings films. What was I talking about again? Oh yes, mountains! New Zealand's highest peak is around 1,500 meters taller than Australia's highest peak. Well, mainland Australia at least. No one seems to care about you, Mawson Peak, way over on Australia's Heard Island. New Zealand sits on the infamous Ring of Fire, an area where lots of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions tend to occur. Australia doesn't have to worry about volcanoes. Also, since Australia sits on top of a very stable tectonic plate with no active faults, residents there don't have to worry much about large earthquakes. New Zealanders, on the other hand, have to worry about a major earthquake at least once every 10 years. Related to this, both Australia and New Zealand occasionally have to worry about tsunamis. Australia gets hit more by cyclones, while both countries have to worry about floods and wildfires. Australia is more often in the news for them. Also, while bushfires are a regular thing in Australia, it had one of the worst bushfire seasons in recorded history from September 2019 to March 2020. It was catastrophic and a bit horrifying, to say the least. New Zealand is made up of islands. Australia is mostly made up of a continent.
Well, actually, some people actually call Australia a really big island.
Well, that's preposterous. What a silly notion. Australia is clearly a continent.
I mean, I agree with you, but that doesn't stop the millions of people out there from calling it an island.
Well, someone needs to stop them. Liam, you must stop them.
Well, I don't know if that's possible, Mr. Beat. However, I can make a video looking at why some people think Australia is an island.
Right on. Can you have it done by the time I'm done with this video?
I'll see what I can do.
Dang, that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. So anyway, like I said, Australia is also mainly a continent, the oldest, flattest, and driest continually inhabited continents with the worst soil for farming. And yes, New Zealand is made up of islands, around 600 of them, and they're mostly remnants of a bigger landmass under the sea. Under the sea. Under the sea. Called Zealandia. Of those 600, however, only 13 are inhabited by humans. Most of the population of New Zealand lives on the Big Two, the two larger main islands, the North Island, or Te Maui, and South Island, or Te Waipounamu. Oh yeah? Well, Australia actually has 8,222 islands, so it's so much more than just a measly continent. Many seem to forget that New Zealand is lower in latitude. I mean, higher in latitude. Gosh, that's confusing. It's higher in latitude than most of Australia. Further south, okay? Latitude-wise, Australia is more African than European, by the way. Australia borders the Indian Ocean. New Zealand borders the Pacific Ocean. East of New Zealand is just, wow. Quite a bit of ocean there, and quite a bit of ocean west of Australia, too. Australians are often called Aussies, and New Zealanders are often called Kiwis. That name comes from the kiwi, a flightless bird native to the country that's also a national symbol. Here is a kiwi holding a kiwi. New Zealand is growing at a faster rate. Maybe why is because the cost of living is lower in New Zealand. Not only that, but residents there generally pay lower taxes than residents in Australia. Australia has a higher GDP per capita. That said, wealth inequality is a bit worse there. Also, New Zealand spends a higher percentage of its total GDP on education. Major industries in Australia include mining, energy, manufacturing, and financial services. Major industries in New Zealand include agriculture, forestry, tourism, and food processing. New Zealand generally has faster internet speeds. While
nice.
sheep outnumber humans in Australia 3-1, sheep outnumber humans in New Zealand 6-1. Residents of Australia are generally more religious. The biggest religion there is Christianity. Within that group, most are Protestant. Almost half of New Zealanders have no religion. There's no big highway that goes straight through Australia east to west. I mean, there's the Outback Highway, a series of roads and dirt tracks that link the east and west, but I ain't trusting that, dude. There is a north-south highway that links Adelaide and Darwin, though. Stewart Highway, aka the track. It's just a 31-hour drive. There's a weird tradition in New Zealand of going places without shoes, apparently. You know, I think they're onto something there. New Zealand legalized same-sex marriage more than 4 years before Australia. Australia has possibly the world's longest fence, meant to prevent the dingoes from killing sheep in the southeastern part of the country. In fact, it's even called the dingo fence. Due to its long geographic isolation, most of Australia's mammals, amphibians, and reptiles are uniquely native to it.
What the heck?
New Zealand
so
has
annoying.
hardly any dangerous animals, or animals, period, really. Australia, on the other hand, has the most animals with the most deadly venom. Sure, it's known for its cuddly koalas, wombats, and kangaroos, but many of its native animals will actively try to kill you, from sharks to jellyfish to snakes.
These animals are deadly.
That said, this may all be overhyped. In fact, due to anti-venom inventions, these two horrifying spiders native to Australia haven't killed anyone there since 1979. Australia has one of the highest electoral turnout rates in the world. Why? Well, probably because it's mandatory for citizens there to vote. Not in New Zealand, though. While medical marijuana is legal in both countries, parts of Australia have either decriminalized or straight up legalized it. Hey, speaking of parts, New Zealand is divided into 16 regions. Australia has 6 states, 3 internal territories, and 7 external territories. So what's the difference between states and territories there? Well, states have more freedom to do their own thing. Territories are more under the direct control of the federal government. Hey, speaking of government, while both have a parliamentary system, representative democracies, and constitutional monarchies, Australia is a federation. And speaking of that, New Zealand once had the opportunity to become part of that federation. Yep, it could have been part of Australia, but turned it down. Oh, hey, let's look at some history now, shall we? Humans have lived in Australia up to 64,000 years before they lived in New Zealand. 64,000 years. Aboriginal Australians, or a name given to the various groups of people who all first settled Australia, likely arrived by sea from Asia and developed a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. Over a period of time of tens of thousands of years, the climate of Australia drastically changed. The earliest humans reached modern-day Tasmania around 30,000 years ago. Back then, it was connected to the continent via a land bridge. The first Torres Strait Islanders arrived from what is now Papua New Guinea around 2,500 years ago. New Zealand, meanwhile, was one of the last places settled by humans on Earth. It wasn't until 1,000 years ago, or maybe as recent as 750 years ago, that the Maori first arrived on canoes. The Dutch were the first Europeans to come across both places. In 1606, the Dutch explorer Willem Janszoon first landed in Australia. 36 years later, the Dutch explorer Abel Tasman spotted New Zealand, but never settled there. The same year that Janszoon had landed in Australia, the Spanish explorer Luis Vaz de Torres checked out the Torres Strait and its associated islands, which is why they're all named after him. However, it was the Dutch who came back in greater numbers to check out Australia, which they called New Holland, of course. Not many stuck around to live, though. Around 720-ish, some Makassar people from modern-day Indonesia came down to settle Australia. And then there was that James Cook dude, an extremely influential British explorer and cartographer. He first checked out, mapped out, and claimed New Zealand for Britain in 1769, and then checked out, mapped out, and claimed the eastern coast of Australia for Britain the next year. The French came to both places soon after that, looking at possible colonization, but they became a bit preoccupied and never followed through. The British, however, did. In 1788, they arrived to settle, establishing the colony of New South Wales, specifically at Sydney Cove on January 26th, which today is Australia's National Day, Australia Day. Many of the first settlers of Sydney were British convicts, criminals, mostly for petty crimes, but you know, over the next 100 years, the British would establish several other colonies across the entire continent, similar to when the British established colonies in North America. At first, they tried to live somewhat harmoniously with the various indigenous people of Australia who, you know, had already been there for tens of thousands of years. However, similar to North America, the indigenous population had little resistance to several introduced diseases the British brought over. Smallpox, measles, influenza, typhoid, and tuberculosis possibly shrunk the Aboriginal population up to 70%. And then, of course, future British settlers weren't as kind.
Coffee bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, why aren't we reacting?
I have no idea. This is too interesting, and I'm basically looking at Google Maps and this video at the same time. I'm just really interested in a lot of New Zealand.
Well, then please turn off Google Maps.
I didn't actually know Auckland was the largest city in New Zealand. I thought it was actually the capital, Wellington. Oh wait, yeah, Wellington is the second largest city. That's a good thing.
To the natives, and they took land that many indigenous folks claimed was supposed to be communal. This led to much conflict, especially in the early 1800s. Meanwhile, things were a bit more chill in New Zealand. The first British settlers there were mostly Christian missionaries, and they lived at Rangahua Bay beginning in 1815. More folks from Britain founded Kirikiri in 1822 and Bluff in 1823. The Maori and British mostly got along, at least until the New Zealand Wars broke out. What a surprise! Treaties had been broken and the Maori got upset. Even though the Maori were greatly outnumbered and had inferior weapon technology, they put up a good fight for decades, but ultimately lost most of their land and livelihood. Most of the new settlers in both places did the whole farming thing, but land in Australia wasn't as fertile as many were hoping it would be. However, mining also became a thing. Gold rushes caused the Australian population to more than double between 1851 and 1860. New Zealand also has some gold rushes in the 1860s. Meanwhile, Australia and New Zealand, being literally on the other side of the world from Britain, had been becoming more and more independent. The British Parliament did allow a form of self-government to the Australian colonies and the colony of New Zealand. By the 1880s, though, a huge nationalist movement had developed in Australia. Surprisingly, a huge feminist movement had developed in New Zealand also by that time. In 1893, New Zealand became the first country in the world to give women the right to vote. But hey, 9 years later, Australia became the second country in the world to finally let women vote. Oh, and that was the year after Australia became an independent country. Like I said earlier, Australia said New Zealand could join up, but New Zealand was like, nah, man, we're cool. Australia was like, suit yourself, and carried on. Instead, New Zealand earned Dominion status in 1907, which was similar to Australia, so it has pretty much been an independent country ever since as well. Only in the 1900s did the population of both countries really start to grow. And grow they did, although both today are still sparsely populated. All right then, for the rest of the video, let's look at the similarities between the two countries. Due to the aforementioned legacy of the British, the majority of residents of both countries speak English. Maori and New Zealand Sign Language are also official languages in New Zealand. Residents of both countries have different accents, although for outsiders that may be hard to pick up. One way to tell is how they say their vowels. Aussies tend to draw out vowels compared to Kiwis. According to the World Happiness Index, residents of both are generally among the happiest in the world. Probably related to this, both have very low poverty. Both have a higher percentage of residents born in another country. And if you are interested in moving to either, because you want to be happy too, know that both are two of the easiest countries to immigrate to in the world. Because of this high immigration, both are ethnically diverse. While the majority of residents trace their background to Europe, more than 16% of Australians and 12% of New Zealanders trace their ancestry to Asia. New Zealand also still has a large Maori population. Maori culture remains a big part of New Zealand culture today. Both have a similar median household income. The minimum age to drink alcohol in both is 18. Both have areas with weird time zones. Both have flags that are often confused since they're so similar, since they both feature the British Union Jack in the top left corner and stars. An easy way to know the difference is that New Zealand stars are red with anger from constantly getting mixed up with Australia's. The ozone layer is thinner above both countries compared to most of the rest of the world. As I said earlier, both are two of the most sparsely populated countries in the world. Australia in particular, sure, it may account for just over 5% of the world's land area, but it has just 0.3% of the global population. A big reason why is urbanization. Hey, speaking of which, both are two of the most urbanized countries in the world. Odds are, if you live in either country, you live in a city. Both have versions of universal health care. Related to this, both have a really high life expectancy. The median age in both is about the same. Regarding violent crime, both are two of the median age in both is about the same. Regarding violent crime, both are two of the universal. Hey, speaking of which, both are two of the most urbanized countries in the world. Odds are, if you live in either country, you live in a city. Both have versions of universal health care. Related to this, both have a really high life expectancy. The median age in both is about the same. Regarding violent crime, both are two of the safest countries in the world. Both have historically had to deal with lots of invasive species or non-native types of organisms introduced to an area that become way overpopulated and hurt the local environment. As I said earlier, many people who live in both have recent ancestors from other parts of the world, and those ancestors brought lots of animals with them that had no natural predators. In other words, no one eats them. Because of this, in Australia, they've had to deal with an overpopulation of European rabbits, deer, cane toads, and honeybees, as well as wild herds of cats, goats, and horses. And believe it or not, Australia is the only country in the world with wild herds of camels. Oh, and there was that mice plague last year. Goodness gracious. New Zealand also has its fair share of invasive species. Many of the same ones as Australia, but other standouts like rats, possums, and weasels. But it has been a bit more aggressive getting rid of them in recent years. Residents of both often call the undeveloped areas of their countries, quote, the bush. Rugby is ridiculously popular in both. And of course, there's all the sports rivalries between the two. The biggest probably revolving around rugby and rugby league, of course, but also cricket and netball, all these weird sports down under. Oh, down under is what folks call these two countries since they're, quote, down under most other countries, meaning they're pretty far south, man. Coincidentally, the song Down Under by Men at Work is also the national anthem of Australia. Just kidding. But shout out to Australian music. No offense, New Zealand, but in my humble opinion, Australia's music is defo way better. Don't believe me? Name one New Zealand band off the top of your head. Exactly. Nope, Lord's not a band. Also, there's this Australian band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard that wrote a song about me, so that's pretty rad and stuff. And one final thing. In 2006, an Australian tried to sell New Zealand on eBay. He was unsuccessful.
so
In
stupid.
conclusion,
Why
while
would they
there is
do
indeed a
that?
bit of a rivalry
Huh.
overall today between Australia and New Zealand, I think they will always have this special bond due to being on the edge of the globe, far away from most of it all. They really are two special, amazing countries. Oh, before I go, I almost forgot. Liam,
Yes, Mr. Beat?
did you happen to get done with your video?
Why, yes, I did. And I'm happy to report that Australia is an island continent.
Well, it's settled then.
Okay, let's go watch another compared video.
Hey, did you know that an estimated
What the heck
$1.7
is
trillion
this?
of wealth is held in
Okay,
art?
scroll
And contemporary
down. This
art
time it's
prices
not
outpaced
about-
the S&P 500
Okay, scroll
total
down
return
it.
by 174% from 1995 to 2020. But why should billionaires be the only ones who invest in art? What about the rest of
Ohio.
us? Enter Masterworks.
Ohio and
Masterworks.io
Pennsylvania, that's
is
not
the
interesting. It's just weird.
North and South Korea, of course.
I said not a country, though.
No, please.
Wait, Idaho and Montana. Do you want to try that? These two
No.
are really interesting. Just
Yeah,
try
and also-
it, please.
But North and South
This
Korea is
video
really
is
good.
sponsored by Brilliant. North Korea and South Korea, or the Democratic People's
Please.
Republic of Korea
What about
and the
continents?
Republic of Korea. Wait a second.
He doesn't
North
actually
Korea is also
compare
called the
the
Democratic People's Republic of
Okay,
No,
Korea.
this-
North and South Pole.
That's a good one. Anyway, two East Asian
but
countries on
not
the Korean
even, but,
Peninsula that
I
are
don't think
opposite in so
it's that
many ways.
interesting.
And
Okay,
yes,
scroll
not
down.
that
Try
long
scrolling
ago,
down.
relatively speaking, they were just one country, Korea. Yeah, this one's going to be lopsided, folks.
Okay,
I'll start
what
by
about
showing you this, which many
USA
of
and
you
Canada?
have probably seen before. One picture sums up
that's
so
what-
much, doesn't it?
that
Most
would be
already know South
really,
Koreans
yeah, no.
enjoy a much higher standard of living and much
What
more
is the-
freedoms. But in
scroll
this video,
down.
let's dig a bit deeper. That said, since North Korea is such a secretive country, there's a lot we don't know about.
No.
But it's difficult for North Korea to hide the fact
Scroll
that South
down.
Korea is doing so much better than it, based on a variety of factors. First, what do they have in common? Well, both are made
Scroll
up
down.
of mostly Koreans, you silly goose, and residents of both
Kentucky
speak
and
Korean.
Tennessee,
That said,
yeah, no,
residents of
thanks.
both have developed different Korean dialects over the past several
Scroll
decades,
down.
since residents of both barely interact. In
Oh,
addition,
look,
since it's taught widely
Illinois,
in school,
oh,
around
wait,
45% of South
California,
Koreans
Texas?
also speak English. The largest
Let's
city
go
in
watch
both is also the
California and
capital,
Texas
although
compared.
Seoul is much larger than Pyongyang.
These are like two, yeah.
And then we
This
watched the
video
Mr.
is
with the Boss.
sponsored in part by Total AV. California and Texas, the Golden State and the Lone Star State. And there are important reasons why the two have those nicknames. More on that later. Anyway, the two big ones. Sure, Alaska is quite a bit bigger than both of them in terms of actual size, but both have a higher population than any other state in these United States. California has the highest population and has around 10 million more people than Texas. Still,
Nice.
Texas is one of the fastest growing states in the country, and more folks are moving to the two than most other states. The channel The World According to Briggs has just released a video going
Bro,
over
this
how
guy almost
and
has a
why
million
so many have moved
subscribers
to
now.
California and Texas. Be sure to check it out when you're done watching
Subscribe
this one.
to
While many
World
Texans
According
have
to
moved to
Briggs,
California
please.
in recent years, more Californians have moved to Texas than any other state.
I've just found this. I've just found a rectangle in the map. Actually, a bunch of rectangles.
Okay, which one would
This
you
rectangle,
move
this
to at
rectangle,
the
this
end?
rectangle, and
Hmm?
I'm naming all the triangles in this map. Triangle, 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 and
This,
almost.
these are not
rectangles.
triangles.
Rectangle. Sorry.
There are so many. Like 1, 2, 3. The state that is actually see Colorado. You see the one that is like under
Oh,
the
this looks like
square.
this. Nose, eyes, forehead, hair.
Yeah, it
Chin
does.
and
This is Idaho. It's supposed to, and the country Idaho is Montana,
Oh,
which
also
looks
look
like
at here.
Montana is a
Look
big
here.
state sitting on Idaho, and Idaho cannot resist it.
Oh, look at this part. Like fluffy hair from the top. Eyes.
No, dude, that's
nose,
not the hair. That's not the
mouth,
hair. That's
and
not
then
even the mouth. Bro,
No,
man,
because this looks like
the
this.
state go up to the head.
Face.
These aren't faces. They're just how the state. Okay, see that
No, I
the
think
thing.
they look like
This is Wisconsin. Okay,
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, he has a long nose.
Yeah, that's Louisiana. Bro, that's Louisiana is
States.
actually
And
the
while
boot
you
of
can
America.
fit more than 2 Texases into Alaska, you can almost fit 2 Californias into Texas. How big is Texas? El Paso, Texas is closer to San Diego, California than it is to Houston, Texas. How big is Texas? There's a ranch there bigger than the state of Rhode Island. Okay, I'll stop the how big is Texas stuff.
How is
Being
that
the 2
bigger
states with the
than an
most
entire
people and the 2
state?
biggest economies both heavily influence the rest of the country. And I've noticed the trash talking between the two has only gotten worse recently. However, based on my research, it seems to be mostly Texans talking trash on all those Californians moving to their beloved state. Yeah, even the Texas governor has been in on the trash talking. But perhaps Texas has more in common with California than most would assume. First of all, both are so big they are hard to stereotype, even though I'd argue the two are more stereotyped than any other states. East Texas has more in common with Louisiana than El Paso, and El Paso arguably has more in common with New Mexico than East Texas. But then go up to the upper panhandle and it feels like Kansas. Even the 4 biggest metro areas in Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, seem radically different from one another. In California, first of all, the major coastal cities of Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego are dramatically different from any other part of the state, especially Northern California and the Central Valley. North of Sacramento is more culturally similar to Eastern Oregon than the rest of the state, and Central Valley could be mistaken for the Midwest at first glance. Here's a map of all the big regions in California. Enough said. Both border Mexico, and both have a nearly identical percentage of residents who identify as either Hispanic or Latino. More on why that is in a bit. And yeah, a lot of folks in both are bilingual. Around 29% of Californians speak Spanish, whereas around 30% of Texans speak Spanish. Both are ethnically diverse states overall. Around 12% of Texans identify as African American, and 14.5% of Californians identify as Asian American. A higher percentage of Californians were born in a foreign country. Both have about the same crime rate. Both have lots of beaches, since both border huge bodies of water. California, the Pacific Ocean; Texas, the Gulf of Mexico. Both have lots of palm trees. Lots of people flock to both for their relatively mild climates. And yes, both are part of the Sun Belt, an area across the southern United States known for milder weather and huge population growth since the 1960s. Shall I remind you that I made a video about the Sun Belt? I made a video about the Sun Belt. But don't be fooled by those beautiful climates. Both have to regularly deal with natural disasters. California has to worry about more earthquakes and volcanoes, while Texas has to worry about hurricanes and tornadoes. California sits along the infamous Ring of Fire, an area where lots of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions tend to occur. What causes those earthquakes? The San Andreas faults going tend to occur. What causes the area where lots of massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions tend to occur. What
Those are
causes
the
those
most popular.
earthquakes? The San Andreas Fault going straight
okay.
through the state. It also even has 3 volcanoes considered a, quote, very high threat by the federal government. Californians also have to regularly worry about wildfires and mudslides. Dang, California. But hey, Texas has its own share of worries. Part of it sits in Tornado Alley, for crying out loud. And some of the most devastating hurricanes of the past century or so landed in Texas. And Texas also has to deal with lots of thunderstorms. California, not so much. Texas even gets dust storms. Okay, enough about natural disasters. Jeez. So let's talk about that Hispanic and Latino heritage. Both used to be part of Mexico, and before that, Spain. This is why today you have prominent cities named San Antonio and Corpus Christi in Texas, and San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Jose in California. When Spanish conquistadors conquered what would later be Texas and California in the early 1500s, they encountered lots of different American Indian nations. Here's a map of California that shows the major tribal groups and languages at that time. That's a lot. Here are the major tribal groups and languages of Texas. That's a lot. So where did the name California come from? A Spanish romance novel actually inspired it. In the book, California was the name given to a mythical island where beautiful female warriors lived. The Spanish originally thought California was an island when they first came across it and thought it'd be fun to give it that name. Supposedly, the Spanish named Texas after the Caddo people's word for friends. The Caddo is an American Indian tribe based out of what is today East Texas. However, the Spanish could have also named it Texas based on seeing some trees that look like yew trees there. Tejo or Teja means yew tree in Spanish. The Spanish didn't really settle both areas much, but they controlled them for around 300 years. Well, the English claimed part of modern-day California, and the French settled part of modern-day Texas in the 1680s, and they also had claims in what is today North Texas. But other than that, it was all Spain. When the Spanish did finally settle both areas, it was Texas, usually but missions meant to convert the local American Indian tribes, although that often did not go well. Texas was mainly a buffer to the French for the Spanish, and modern-day California was one of the last places the Spanish settled, not establishing the Fort Presidio of San Diego until 1769. After the residents of New Spain declared independence in 1821, they named their new country after Mexico City, but dropped the city part. By that time, Californios, as they were called, had picked up ranching in California, and soon the missions there were abandoned. Many of these Californios became rich after getting large land grants from the Mexican government. More and more Americans began to move to both, especially Texas, after Mexico opened up immigration there to serve as a buffer, this time against the Comanche, who constantly raided Tejano settlers there. Tejanos were the Mexicans who lived in Texas. By 1830, the population of Texas had swelled to 30,000, with Americans, many of them who came there illegally, outnumbering the native Tejanos 6-1. Soon, the Americans became restless, and this ultimately led to the Texas Revolution, which I also have a video about. Long story short, Texas declared independence from Mexico on March 2nd, 1836, and Mexico couldn't keep them, so it was an independent country for almost 10 years before the United States annexed it on December 29th, 1845. By the way, that Lone Star State nickname comes from the fact that Texas was once an independent republic. Meanwhile, California was never its own country, as Texans would gladly remind you of today, and the 200 Californio families stayed fairly low-key through all of this. That all changed after the Mexican-American War, which the United States handily won. After the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, California was under U.S. control, and eventually many Californios lost their lands, sometimes violently, to Americans who stole it. And Americans began to come to California in droves after gold was discovered there in 1848. In 1849, around 90,000 people, nicknamed 49ers, came to California to get rich quickly mining gold. It was the most famous gold rush in American history, the California Gold Rush, which is the main reason why California became a state in 1850. Oh, and that's how it got the Golden State nickname. Sadly, it also directly led to thousands of American Indians millions dying due to disease, starvation, destroyed habitats, and just straight up murder. During the American Civil War, Texas seceded and joined the Confederate States of America. In case you didn't know, the Six Flags Over Texas theme park refers to the 6 different countries that have governed Texas. In case you forgot, let's recap. First there was Spain, then France, then Spain again, then Mexico, then the Republic of Texas, then the United States of America, and then the Confederate States of America. California, which had entered the Union as a free state, of course, stayed with the United States and greatly helped with the Union war efforts. Of note, some 5,000 Californian soldiers marched 900 miles to El Paso to keep Confederate Texans from Arizona territory and to kick them out of New Mexico territory. Throughout the rest of the 1800s and into the 1900s, both Texas and California steadily grew, but Texas stayed far ahead in population until the Great Depression, when 250,000 farmers moved to California from the Great Plains states to escape the Dust Bowl. After that, California's population continued to skyrocket as more and more folks simply just came there for the beautiful climate and growing economic opportunities. Today, if both were countries, California would have the 5th largest, biggest producer of food, while Texas, and California residents not identified with any, have generally supported more Republican candidates. That said, more and more Texans have been voting Democratic in recent years. Higher cost of living. In fact, only one state, Hawaii, is more expensive to live in. The median household income is higher in California. Texas also has a higher poverty rate. However, California has a more pronounced homelessness crisis. By most measures, Texas is more business friendly. California's minimum wage will be $15 an hour by 2023, and it's just $7.25 in Texas. Also, taxes are climate and geography. It has a warm, dry summers and temperature ever 2 degrees Fahrenheit in Death Valley. Rise in the eastern and central portion of the state, but there are also the California mountains. California has and hills. Texas, he knows about it. Although Texas gets more precipitation in the world. Oh, and less bugs. I've been to Southern California the last 3 summers, and each time film and financial service. Central Valley is one of the most productive farming regions on the planet.
Are you
How productive?
skipping
Well, my
it?
Tex-Mex. Thank you, Texas. California has legal marijuana and was
Yeah,
the first state
because
to
I
have
want
legal,
to
quote,
go-
medical
I
marijuana
don't
way back
think
in
that's
1996.
passport.
It's not legal in Texas.
No, I mean party, get high, get stoned.
Texans get more history of their own state than residents of all other states. They get 2 years of Texas history in school, in both 4th grade and 7th grade. California is known around the world for wine, with more than 4,600 wineries. In fact, if it were an independent country, it'd be the world's 4th largest wine producer. Texas likely has more tigers living in captivity than all the tigers living in the wild around the entire world. California has more national parks. In fact, it has more than any other state. It also has the tallest and oldest trees, not only in the country, but the entire world. Experts estimate that one of those trees, an unnamed great bristlecone pine, is more than 5,000 years old. At 380 feet or 116 meters, a redwood tree in California named Hyperion is the tallest tree in the world. I would argue that American football is more popular in Texas than it is anywhere else on the planet. Want proof? Most of the largest high school football stadiums are in the state. California has both the highest and lowest point in the contiguous United States. The highest, Mount Whitney, and the lowest, Death Valley. Okay, how about terrific burger joints? In-N-Out Burger originated in California. Whataburger originated in Texas. But Texas wins here because there are In-N-Out Burgers in Texas, but no Whataburgers in California. And now I'm getting hungry, so I think I'll end it there. In conclusion, there is little evidence to prove that California or Texas won't continue to dominate over the rest of the country anytime soon, for better or for worse. Regardless, it's smart for the rest of us to always keep our eyes on what they are up to. And now it's time for me to freak you out. Did you know that 1 in 3 Americans are affected by online attacks every year? Not only that, there's a chance that you are watching this video on a computer that has spyware on it and you don't even know it. And if you have a Mac, don't think you're any safer. Security analysts recently uncovered a 270% increase in viruses for Macs. Antivirus software is still desperate.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about AV. Okay, time to watch Mr. Who's the Boss.
That's the reason why you skipped most of the video?
No, he was literally talking about like wine or something. So I had to skip.
Bro, wine is not that bad.
How dare you?
Bro, wine's not that bad. What's the problem?
You know, it's just because it has a very high decrease in the amount of alcohol. Anyways, what Mr. Was the Boss video should we watch?
None of them, because I can't believe this guy has more people than an entire state.
Choose a video. Why Elon Musk
What you
actually
didn't
bought-
know?
What you didn't know about
19
it?
inventions that will save your life.
Oh, okay. It's actually pretty cool. Or if you want, we can watch what's called Michael MJD. Well, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, do you want to watch Michael MJD?
Mm. No, I don't.
Okay. "19 inventions that will save your life." Part 1.
Are you ready for a fresh opportunity to show what you were made of in a worldwide competition? Welcome
After this,
to
you want
Make
to
It Right,
watch why NFTs are dumb?
a challenge where you will share your bright ideas. Grow
No,
your
that's
skills with
too. Okay. Oh wait.
Did you know you can buy an anti-fireball that you can drop into a
no.
fire, take a few steps back? Did you know you can buy an anti-fireball that you can drop into a fire, take a few steps back, to explode, and extinguish it immediately? Oh my god. These are the 19 greatest inventions to save your life. Starting from self-defense gadgets designed to save one person, all the way to interplanetary weapons designed to save Earth's entire population. So let's start with the GTFO wrist strap, which on the surface just looks like a questionable fashion choice. But actually, if you ever get stuck in a car or a bus, you'll have the last laugh, because this pendant doubles as a projectile that you can launch into the windows like a slingshot to shatter them and to get the flip out of there. And in the same vein, I am absolutely shocked that the Zap cane is a real product. It gives you something to lean on, just like a normal cane, but it also has a flashlight built into it, a reflective safety band for visibility, and apparently a 1 million volt taser, which can...
Excuse me?
Hmm?
1 million volt taser.
Wow. Wow, it's so expensive.
They didn't even mention the price. You're not even watching.
I know. I'm being. Wait, what? No, I'm being sarcastic, dude. You don't even know what sarcasm is. I swear.
A, scare criminals and rabid dogs off with the loud sparking sound it makes, and B, in a worst-case scenario, can temporarily paralyze them without doing any permanent damage. Now, given that actual police tasers go up to 50,000 volts, I find it hard to believe that this stick your grandma could buy is actually $1 million. But based on the reviews, it still...
The grandma spy.
The grandma spy. Okay, wow.
does seem to get the job done. But believe it or not, we can level things up further with undercover dental floss, which you pull it out all the way and you'll see that it actually hides a real 6-foot Kevlar cable. It's made for spies and people who are at high risk of getting captured. Because Kevlar is such a tough material, it can cut through any kind of zip tie that you might get caught in. Not to mention the fact that this floss box also hides a handcuff key made of plastic so that it doesn't set off metal detectors, a 2-foot diamond wire, which, because diamond is one of the hardest materials on the planet, can literally saw through a locked padlock. And for the first 18 inches, real dental floss, so that you can make a clean getaway.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny.
Oh.
A clean getaway since it's dental floss.
But probably the coolest undercover self-defense tool is the Defender pepper spray. So when you press this button, it releases a concentrated chemical that temporarily blinds someone who might be trying to cause you harm. But that's pretty standard. What the Defender also does is triggers a powerful siren to grab other people's attention. It has an integrated camera and flash, which both also go off when that button is triggered, to send a well-lit photo of this criminal straight to law enforcement, while also beaming across your location so that they can get to you ASAP. It's like the ultimate Uno reverse card on someone who thinks they're about to get away with something. But what if you're having an emergency and you're also in the middle of the ocean? Well, you basically just have to pray that you have a buoy to keep you afloat, and then wait patiently in the hope that somebody comes to help. But the company USafe has had a better idea. They've built a buoy that can pick up to 2 people, and more importantly, is remote controlled up to 500 meters away, which is insane. So your rescuer can see you in the distance, struggling in the water, drive it to you, pick you up, and then drive you back to the shore or to the nearest boat. Now, unfortunately, while you're in the process of being rescued from drowning like this, you may actually encounter a new problem in the form of sharks. Sharks hunt by using specialized sense organs that detect electric and magnetic fields in the water, which are usually given off by muscle contractions of injured flailing fish, which are normally their prey. But this also means that they're usually the first animal to arrive when there's any kind of vigorous splashing. Thankfully, this is also where something called shark bands comes in. Basically a magnet that you wear on your wrist or your ankle that has been shown to disrupt that electric field detection. It's a really cool concept and has been semi-proved to protect people within a 2-meter radius, but then on the other hand, $94 for a magnet is kind of pushing it.
Yeah,
but even worse than what sailors and divers have to go through is the risk you have to take when you're operating heavy machinery. In fact, the job with the highest fatality rate across the entire United States is logging. And it's because anything that can cut through a tree can also cut through a human. But a new type of saw called SawStop is trying to change that. It has a 3-volt current running through. A new type of saw called SawStop is trying to change that.
I don't think that's going to end well. I don't think that's going to end well.
You just said my real name. You just said my real name.
Your real name is Joseph. Remember, that was your nickname.
Yes, that. Yeah, what is that Esther nickname though? Why are you calling me that?
But do you think this is gonna end well?
I don't know.
His finger is right there. This.
R.I.P. him. The death of
It has a 3-volt
Mr.
current running through it
Roosevelt.
at all times and a computer monitoring it. And
Hmm.
as soon as a finger or an arm makes
Oh,
contact
yeah,
with
no,
it,
that's not
it's
gonna
going
end
to
well.
interrupt that
What?
voltage, thus
This looks a little sus.
triggering an
Sussy.
explosive
No,
reaction
what
that
are you
pulls the saw away
doing?
so fast that you would struggle to majorly injure yourself even if you tried.
Oh,
And
nice.
horror movie directors are not going to like this one.
Yeah, they're not.
Oh, yeah, and speaking of jobs
Of
that pose
course.
danger to people's lives, we've got the Wii remotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you didn't expect to see Nintendo in this video.
Yeah, I
But
didn't.
yeah, turns out that Wii remotes are not just made for a hyper-realistic round of bowling. The fact that they have motion controls built inside of them means that when they're paired with the right attachments, can be made to be laparoscopic. Or to use normal human language, they can be used to simulate performing keyhole surgery on the inside of a human.
Just imagine seeing this guy that's performing surgery on you with Wii remotes.
R.I.P. the person who's going to have surgery.
Well, at least it's just training surgery, so it's not actual surgery. But no, seriously, just
You.
imagine like you doctor just coming in with a bunch of Wii remotes. I'm gonna save your life.
Kills you.
Abdomen. Medical students have already started using this to train, and there's even an official paper published that actually unironically labels the Nintendo Wii as an effective part of the training for any up-and-coming laparoscopist.
Are you
Which,
okay?
given how many patients each of them is going to treat over the course of their career,
Laparoscopist.
could actually save a lot of lives. Okay, we've covered land, we've covered sea, we've covered forest.
Oh, no. No, please.
With
no.
Create Studio Pro, you can create amazing 3D character
Wait,
explainers
did
just like
it
Pixar, and you
end?
never need to use complex
No.
3D software.
Of course it didn't.
It's time to talk about fire. Nearly 4,000 people per year die in household fires, and that's just in the United States. And that makes fireball extinguishers, I think, a really important product. They've got a polystyrene shell on the outside, and on the inside, a mild explosive combined with a heap of dry fire extinguishing powder. The
Let's
idea
speed up the
being that
video.
as soon as one of these comes into contact with fire, that explosive will be triggered in a high-risk environment. But if that is the case, then
Yeah,
you've basically got no
speeded up
choice.
a little bit of the video.
Thousands of people who found
I
themselves
skipped a
trapped in a
bit of the video.
tall, fiery building with no way of getting out.
Okay.
And once you set one of these systems
Oh,
up,
no.
if there's ever a fire, it's basically an instantly deployable, ultra-fast, fire-resistant external elevator that
Hey,
can
nice.
take firefighters up and bring residents down at up to
Nice.
3 meters
Okay,
per second.
nice.
Or
That's
potentially an even
super
simpler
decent.
solution is the Ingstrom Escape Chute, which I know basically looks like a giant contraceptive, but it's actually genius. It's a tube with 3 layers. The outer one is fiberglass for fireproofing, the middle is elastic to control the rate you fall at, and the inner one is aramid fiber that's resistant to traction so that you don't get stuck going down. It's basically the same mechanism as putting a football into some nylon stockings.
Yeah.
And if you're enjoying this video, then a sub to the channel would be baller.
Oh. Oh, look. The World Cup football thingy is here.
But if we look at the
Great.
very top causes of death around the world, then even more common than fires, even have night vision. Proof of concept.
Wait, excuse
As
me?
a tech guy, I think it's awesome. They're not in mass production because it comes
Oh.
systems of rollers, which are made with shock absorbent material, and
But I'm even
because they can roll,
skipping
can
parts
also
of the video.
divert the majority of the impact from the collision into
Okay.
just forward momentum.
Should we end the stream?
Yes.
Okay, guys, that will be it. Now, time to spam in the chat. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Spam in chat, guys.
Did it end?
No, I'm still just...
Goodbye.
ending. And